we went to tell him, and I told him, I'm pregnant, and he slid down the wall. And he was just like, no.
The controversy between Julie Royce, an investigative reporter, and Joni Lamb, co-founder of Daystar television network, has sparked intense debates within the Christian community. At the heart of this conflict are fundamental questions about ethics, accountability, and the role of the media in holding Christian leaders responsible. As both women, deeply committed to their faith and their respective roles, navigate this public dispute, the issues they raise illuminate some of the broader challenges faced by modern Christian organizations. This article explores the scandal, offering insight into the clash of ideas, faith, and the media in the evangelical world. Who are Julie Royce and Joni Lamb? Julie Royce, investigative journalist and Christian writer. Julie Royce is an award-winning investigative journalist with a reputation for exposing financial misconduct, abuse of power, and ethical failures within the evangelical community. Through her platform, The Royce Report, Royce has become a vocal advocate for transparency and accountability, calling out churches, ministries, and religious leaders who misuse their influence and resources. Her work, which often centers around difficult and controversial subjects, has garnered praise for its rigor and courage. Despite her dedication to truth and justice, Royce's reporting has not come without criticism. Some members of the Christian community have accused her of causing division within the church, suggesting that her investigations, while important, might sow distrust and create unnecessary conflict. For Royce, however, the focus remains on integrity and the importance of holding Christian leaders accountable to the highest ethical standards. Joni Lamb, televangelist and co-founder of Daystar. Joni Lamb is a well-known figure in Christian media, having co-founded Daystar television network with her late husband, Marcus Lamb. Daystar, one of the largest Christian television networks in the world, broadcasts globally and reaches millions of viewers. Joni is a beloved figure among Daystar's supporters, especially through her program, Joni Table Talk, where she discusses topics related to faith, relationships, and personal growth. Since Marcus's death in 2021, Joni has stepped up as a central figure in Daystar's leadership, continuing to uphold the network's mission to spread the gospel while managing the challenges of ministry and personal loss. Known for her strong convictions and public advocacy, Joni has become a defender of Daystar's practices, particularly its financial decisions and its approach to expanding its ministry. The spark of controversy, investigations and accusations, financial scrutiny, and allegations of mismanagement. The conflict between Julie Royce and Joni Lamb began with a series of investigative reports published by Royce. These reports raised significant concerns about the financial practices of Daystar television network. Specifically, Royce focused on allegations of financial mismanagement, questioning whether Daystar was using the donations of its viewers responsibly. The purchase of luxury items, including a private jet, became a focal point in the investigation. Royce argued that such extravagant purchases were at odds with the network's religious mission, which emphasized biblical stewardship and accountability. Royce also looked into Daystar's political connections, alleging that the network's political advocacy blurred the lines between ministry and political influence. This, she suggested, could alienate viewers who expect religious organizations to remain neutral or solely focused on spiritual matters. The critique of Daystar's financial transparency and its political involvement prompted Joni Lamb to respond publicly. Joni Lamb's defense: a bold response. Joni Lamb did not back down from the accusations made by Royce. In public statements and on Joni Table Talk, she defended Daystar's financial decisions, emphasizing the importance of the network's global outreach and humanitarian efforts. Joni explained that the private jet, for example, was an essential tool for efficiently traveling the world to spread the gospel and minister to communities in need. According to her, the network's humanitarian work, such as emergency relief programs, demonstrated that Daystar was committed to helping others and using its resources to fulfill its spiritual mission. Joni also addressed Royce's concerns about political involvement, arguing that Daystar's role in supporting political movements was a natural extension of its Christian beliefs. She portrayed the network's advocacy as being aligned with moral and biblical values, rather than as an attempt to gain political power. Joni framed the attacks against Daystar as part of a broader trend of division within the church, calling for unity among Christians and stressing the importance of supporting ministries that offer hope and make a positive impact. The public debate, supporters and critics' support for Julie Royce, the case for transparency. The public response to the feud between Royce and Lamb has been polarized. Many of Royce's supporters praise her for holding Christian organizations accountable and ensuring that they are transparent in their financial practices. These supporters argue that religious organizations, especially those that operate as non-profits, must be held to the highest standards of accountability. They believe that without scrutiny, these organizations risk losing the trust of their followers and misusing the resources entrusted to them by donors. For Royce's supporters, the issue goes beyond Daystar's financial practices. It is about ensuring that Christian organizations remain true to their mission of serving others and adhering to ethical principles. They view her work as a necessary safeguard against corruption and misuse of power within the church. These individuals also stress the importance of transparency in avoiding scandals and maintaining the integrity of Christian leadership. Support for Joni Lamb, defending Daystar and the ministry. On the other hand, many within the Christian community have rallied behind Joni Lamb and Daystar Television Network. These supporters argue that Royce's investigation goes too far and that it unfairly targets a ministry that has had a positive impact on millions of people. They defend Daystar's financial decisions, including the purchase of a private jet, as necessary investments in spreading the gospel and expanding the network's reach. For these individuals, the accusations against Daystar are seen as an attack on a beloved ministry that has changed lives through its broadcasts and charitable efforts. They believe that ministries like Daystar should be allowed to make decisions based on their unique needs, and that the focus should be on their spiritual mission, not on financial matters. These supporters also express concern that Royce's work could undermine the unity of the church, dividing believers over issues that they view as secondary to the gospel message. Larger implications: transparency, accountability, and leadership. The role of investigative journalism in the church. The feud between Julie Royce and Joni Lamb highlights the larger issue of transparency within Christian organizations. As religious institutions become more influential and financially powerful, questions about their stewardship of resources have become increasingly important. Investigative journalism, like Royce's, plays a crucial role in ensuring that ministries remain accountable to their supporters and to the broader public. However, the ethical considerations of reporting on religious organizations raise complex questions about the balance between holding leaders accountable and protecting the unity of the church. Some argue that investigative reporting can be a tool for positive change, helping to expose wrongdoing and ensure that ministries act with integrity. Others, however, believe that such investigations can harm the church's reputation and create unnecessary division among believers. The challenge lies in finding a balance between transparency and unity, ensuring that Christian leaders are held accountable without jeopardizing the broader mission of the church. The importance of moral leadership and ethical stewardship. The controversy also raises important questions about moral leadership within Christian organizations. How should leaders balance their responsibilities as stewards of the resources entrusted to them with the need to fulfill the practical needs of their ministries? The debate over Daystar's financial decisions reflects a larger tension within the church between material concerns and spiritual mission. Leaders must navigate these challenges while maintaining their integrity and ensuring that their actions align with biblical principles. Joni Lamb's defense of Daystar's actions reflects her belief in the importance of using resources to further the gospel message, even if those resources include high-end purchases like a private jet. However, critics argue that such purchases may give the wrong impression, especially when ministries claim to be focused on the poor and marginalized. The controversy forces Christian leaders to carefully consider how their actions and financial choices reflect their commitment to ethical stewardship and the message of Christ. Moving forward, finding common ground. The Julie Royce and Joni Lamb scandal, while deeply divisive, also provides an opportunity for reflection and growth within the Christian community. As the Church grapples with issues of transparency, accountability, and leadership, it must also consider the importance of grace, understanding, and humility. Both Royce and Lamb are deeply committed to their faith and their respective roles in spreading the gospel, but their disagreement underscores the complexity of modern Christian leadership. Ultimately, the goal should be to honor God and build a church that stands as a beacon of hope and integrity in a world that is increasingly skeptical of religious organizations. Whether through investigative journalism or through the leadership of ministries like Daystar, the Church must continue to seek truth, accountability, and unity in its mission to spread the love of Christ. Conclusion: trust, responsibility, and unity. The Julie Royce and Joni Lamb scandal is a powerful reminder of the challenges Christian organizations face in an age of increased scrutiny. It highlights the need for transparency, ethical leadership, and a commitment to the gospel. At the same time, it calls for unity within the Church, despite disagreements over difficult issues. By prioritizing trust, responsibility, and grace, Christian leaders and journalists alike can work together to ensure that the Church remains a force for good in the world. The ultimate goal, regardless of differing perspectives, should be to honor God and build a church that reflects His love, integrity, and truth.